between JFC and TBM. JFC currently holding that 2-8 record. TBM doing a little bit better at 5-5, but we'll see if JFC can turn it around. Going right into picks and bans, though. Vlad, Gnar, Azir coming out, so nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I'm even now on muting my own mic. You did it, so we're even. But yeah, hopping right into these bans for this game right now. We do have a Vladimir and an Azir, two very scaling mid laners that we're seeing have a lot of play right now and a lot of focus. So two mid bans already coming out of JFC is going to be very huge because, you know, that's going to limit a lot of the pool that we're going to see from these mid laners. You know, you still have the potential assassins, but, you know, a lot of the comp that you're seeing right now is a mobile AD carry or an AD carry that doesn't necessarily, you know, need to hyper carry, something like a Sivir or even a Caitlyn that plays very safe. And, you know, you have like a hyper carry in the mid lane, and then you build a team around that. And when you take two, you know, very good control mages, very good late game mages from Vladimir and Azir out of the mix, then that's going to be, you know, absolutely devastating for what you're wanting to do with your comp. But that being said, right away we've also got two support bans as well. So we've got the Alistar, we've got the Janna. That opens the doors up for you know, some other supports that we don't necessarily see a lot of play with. We might see a Thresh, we might see something like a Nautilus, but, you know, outside of that, Janna and Alistar both very good supports right now. So those out of the way are going to be huge. And then we've got the Gnar and the Rek'Sai to finish out with the bans right here. Rek'Sai, as we all know, has fantastic map pressure. You know, tunneling her way across the map gives her a lot of mobility, a lot of early, not only vision control if she decides to go for that early sightstone, but as well, she just is able to pressure a lot of lanes and really turn an early game around.
So one of those junglers, very, very versatile in build path, able to go both the Cinder Hulk and the Warrior, I anticipate. That maybe getting rid of that Rek'Sai, we might see an early aggressive jungler come out. Gragas and Sejuani both left open, both still very, very strong in the current meta. So we'll see if that's a priority for Blue Team with the first pick having 10 seconds left.
Yeah, I'm looking to see a Gragas pick actually here from either the first team, or yeah, that's exactly what I was predicting. You know, Gragas is the top tier jungler right now. Not only does he have the map pressure with the body slam, but he also gives his teams a lot of disengage. You know, one of the things that you don't necessarily credit Gragas for as much these days is, you know, his disengage. He used to just do, you know, a lot of, you know, hardcore AoE damage with the barrel and the explosive cask. But, you know, nowadays people are playing him, they're building him a lot more tanky, and he's played more of, you know, a controlled jungler that can apply a lot of early pressure. You know, he gets the innate tankiness with his Drunken Rage, and he's able to just, you know, go around the map as he pleases. But to combat that, you know, we look over Black and Lord Crowley hovering over the Rumble and the Nautilus right there. Rumble, I'm not too sure about this as a first pick. You know, we're really going to have to see how this decides to play out, because you do have, you know, the very powerful top laner such as a Maokai, such as a Hecarim, as well as maybe like a Fizz or something like that as well. So, you know, going into Rumble, that to me says that it's a comfort pick. You know, it's something that he has played time and time again, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And then we've got the Nautilus. You know, I mentioned it before, a very good support right now, you know, especially when you don't have to go against the likes of a Janna and you don't have that hardcore disengage. You know, you've got the Nautilus. He's got, you know, not only does he have his passive stack CC, but he's also got, you know, the anchor as well as the depth charge once he gets that ultimate. So, you know, I look to see a lot of really good team fighting comp coming out right here from TBM.
Yeah, both teams taking away support that's really good at disengaging or absorbing a lot of the upfront burst and CC. The Kalista Annie, perfect pickups to respond to their Alistar ban that came out in their third ban. Actually, somewhat expected, or what wouldn't have been surprised to see Red Side pick up a Kalista combination, especially considering that they got rid of Janna and Gnar. Janna, one of those champions that once you go in on her, she can just blow you away. Gnar, one of those champions who it's very, very scary to go in on once he has at that full rage bar. So Rumble making sense there as well, kind of having that frontline mage. But the utility ADC coming out in the form of a Sivir Hover. That'd be really scary to have this team comp running straight at you.
Yeah, I mean, right now, TBM, in my opinion, has the advantage right here for this champ select. Not only did they get the bans that they wanted out of this, but they're also building the comp that they want. It looks to me as JFC's kind of, reactionary. Their picks are a lot more reactionary. Yes, you've got the Annie. Yes, you've got the Callista. If that Annie decides to go bot lane, that is going to be a very strong bot lane. But when you have someone with the likes of Nautilus Sivir who synchronize perfectly, I mean, we've seen Cloud9 do this time and time again. Lemon Nation, always the theory crafter that he is, has understood how powerful a Nautilus, in that bot lane is, just because he has the he is innately very slow, but once you get that level 6 on the Sivir, that speeds him up, that allows him to whop everybody in the face with his anchor, get the chain CC that he wants, and then you mix a Rumble ultimate as well as a Hecarim into the mix, and this right here is a very strong comp that we see coming out of TBM.
On the flip side, lots of damage that can come out in the form of the Victor as well, especially if he has that frontline Gragas and the Rise later in the game to really absorb a lot of damage. Victor can just stand in the backline, throw out a ton of death ray, siphon powers in that gravity field. Nothing to be shrugged at either. But Rise still very, very powerful.
Yeah, I mean, we've all seen the strength of Rise, Huni, doing his work and really showing everybody that, after the changes, he actually is very strong. But you look at this team and, whoever goes AD carry, it looks like it's going to be Danny Cutebody right here. He's going to have to get going early because if you look at the comp that they're running, they have a lot of, AP damage right now. And if they're going to want to make sure that they get ahead and that they can really do things, they're going to have to travel as a team and they're going to have to move around the map accordingly. They've got a fantastic pick comp. If you get caught out by 2 members, regardless of which 2 they are, you're going to go down and you're going to go down fast. That's something that, all of these members are very good at. And so they've got a fantastic pick comp. And, what I'm looking to see is, are they going to be able to maneuver the map? Is this, is Count Dale going to be able to, get an early sightstone? Is he going to, make sure that they have the vision, get the picks they need, and really push forward in the mid game? Because, you look at the champions, it takes Callista and Victor and Rise a little bit of time to warm up and really ramp up their power. And so if they can get past this early game, especially with the early game that we see coming out of TBM, if they can get past that early game, if they can get into their power spikes, stack the tier, stack the Roa, get the attack speed that you need on your AD carry, if you can move that stuff around, then you're going to have a very strong pick comp. But, to label on it right before we go into the 3-minute delay right here, Lord Crowley ends up going and finishing off this pick ban phase with the Syndra in the mid lane. We see that there were already 2 very strong mid laners banned in the Vladimir and the Azir. But with that being said, Syndra is a very strong mid laner and is a very big lane bully. She's going to be able to combat Acolytes on that Victor. And if she can keep everything going, and play more of a control Syndra as opposed to just, a straight run-in, kill somebody and then die Syndra, then it's going to really help her team out a lot because, we've seen the mobility, we've seen the team fighting potential that TBM brings to the table. Add a Syndra into the mix, maybe maxing E second or something and getting off a lot of stuns, a lot of ball stuns, then it's going to be a very, very strong team comp coming out of TBM right here.
Yeah, that AoE stun at later levels, nothing to shake a finger at. But like Bill said, we are going to get into our 3-minute delay. So before we cut it to a quick music break so you're not just sitting here listening to us jab for the next 3-4 minutes, just based on team comp, who do we have to give this one to?
I mean, right now, if you're going to go down to, the basics, the most basic of all things, it's going to have to be your team fighting potential. And I'm going to give that to TBM right now. They've got a lot of mixed AP and AD damage. They've got a very good utility AD carry in the Sivir. And if they can maneuver around the team fights correctly, then I think they can take this game away.
A lot of times we see teams outplaying themselves with comps like this. But guys, don't go away. We're going to jump into a quick music intermission. We will see you on the Rift in about 2.5. Thank you. welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Rift as we get our game kicked off between JFC and TBM. On the blue side, we have JFC. In the top lane, we have your top laner. How apropos, playing Rise in the jungle. We have Count Dale on Gragas. Acolyte in the mid lane on Victor. Pause coming in, but Danny Cutebody and Yagi on Callista and Andy in the bot lane, respectively.
And for the red side, we've got Team Blue Milk. For the top lane, we've got Blue Cheese playing some Rumble. In the jungle, we've got Black Penis on that Hecarim. For the mid lane, we've got D-Lord Crowley. And for the bot lane duo, we've got Wonderot and Rakal. So, we are getting into a pause right now. Moving everything around, making sure everything gets set up. It looks like we've got some technical difficulties with the mouse, so it will be a couple minutes for that. So we're going to talk early game real quick. So, looking across the board what we have right now, the biggest thing that I see is, Black is really wanting to show a lot of early pressure with the Hecarim. The play is going to resume, so we're going to get to see both teams coming out onto the Rift right here. But, I'm really looking to see a lot of aggression right now on the side of Team Blue Milk. There's 3 Ignites. They're wanting to show a lot of pressure early. You don't even have an Ignite on the Annie. So when you have someone as strong a laner as an Annie, especially at something like support, that's running exhaust, then as the opposing side, you're going to want to be aggressive. You're going to want to really get into the face of the Annie and get her behind as fast as you can. And Recall with that Ignite is going to definitely do that.
See all 5 from JFC going into their blue side jungle. Maybe looking or anticipating some sort of shenanigans. So they are going to get spotted out by Crowley, though. Just going to try and get some vision wards down along that line of scrimmage. Rumble saying,
yeah, a really good job to get some deep wards right there. Yagi, both supports actually roaming up to do anything. I don't necessarily expect a lane swap right now. If you actually wanted to do it, it would, benefit both top laners just because both Rise and Rumble do very well in the 2v1 situation. They're able to farm enough safely. So, I don't expect anything fancy coming out from both of them. But it looks like we have a fight here.
Ooh, Count Dale looking for something early. I don't think he anticipated that many people to go. This is going to be quite the extended engage early on. Rocco has a lot of red stacks in him. That's first blood going at a minute 25 to Danny Cutebody. Going to go back to base with a little extra gold. That's not good to get Callista rolling early.
Yeah, MVP of that fight goes to the Callista sight ward right here above the red buff. She placed that very, very early as it is expiring right now. So she did place it, at the 40-second mark before they invaded the jungle. So, they had the vision. They understood they were there. A very good job by the team to communicate, to, wrap around. And that gets a kill on Callista. That's going to give her, that 10 attack damage with the longsword. And even though she's going to fall a little bit behind right here, just because she's not going to get to the wave on time, she's going to have that power spike. She's going to have an extra amount of damage. And, that being said, you still have, you've got a flash down on Onorot. If you have a flash down on Sivir, you're not very mobile early, and if, without that ultimate. And so being able to have a flash down on an AD carry like that is going to be very important early.
Especially up against somebody like Annie, where you got to be really, really quick with that spell shield. And Annie electing to go coin as well. I know that it was buffed recently, but against somebody who's super low range like a Sivir, a melee support like a Nadas, you'd figure you want to go stealthy for the extra golden cup.
Yeah, I guess they're understanding right now that Sivir Nautilus not only is a strong lane, but they aren't going to have any kill potential. And so, she opts to go with the coin. She's just going to go for a sustain lane, allow Callista to really just, ramp up her style herself and just make it go from there. Looking around the other side of the map, we've got the junglers on opposite sides. So, Black decided to go straight to his red buff right here, smiting it away. We're going to see it done. He could possibly go to the top lane right here, as Count Dale is making his way up a little bit slower. Fat Man walking to the blue buff. But, outside of that, we don't really have any other fancy action right now. We do see some really good early pressure from Acolyte. He's making sure to keep this wave where it's at. It's going to start pushing in his favor, but, already maintaining a CS advantage on a Syndra is going to be very important, especially as a Victor.
No fun when she throws those purple things at you.
It's not great. At least it's not Atlantean Syndra. Atlantean Syndra is where it gets very, very terrible.
I can't even see this stuff.
No, it's terrible. But it looks like Black is going to be hovering around. He does get the Scuttle Crab last second before Countdale comes through. Countdale's going to see everything, but Black is just going to walk away. Doesn't really want to deal with anything right there.
Should I stay or should I go?
Yeah, Pony runs away as quickly as possible. Flipping up to the top lane, though. Your top laner doing a really good job at making sure that he applies the pressure right here on Blue Cheese. You know, I look to see this Rise pushing him up because he doesn't... the one thing you don't want to do is you really don't want to give, you know, a Rumble a chance to really, you know, bully you out of lane. He's always known to do that, and so your top laner is making sure that, you know, with this Rise, he makes sure that he's spamming his abilities a little bit more to try to get this push to tower.
Speaking of pushing, we got JFC's bot lane duo absolutely shoving these guys under tower. Blue Cheese run really, really low in the top lane as well. Looks like they're going to attract a little bit of jungle attention. Not sure what Countdale can do when their laners are shoved this far ahead. But Black going to come in for the charge. Ooh, Scatter the Weak does land. That's an Ignite landing. Last tick of it, and the auto attack finishes it off with the tower aggro. Too strong. A little too much health to take him down, though. So 1 for 1 so far in the game.
Yeah, you know, that was a really good job by Acolyte to try to get some kind of disengagement there. As Countdale's going to pop the fat man.
You kill my family. I'm going to kill you. Wait, never mind. Never mind. This is looking really bad. Black Venus. Oh my gosh. That's the second Ignite going off. They're going to trade 1 for 1. That's something I definitely was not expecting, but I guess they were just like, okay, you want to go for it? We might as well go for it.
Yeah, I know Yaguai is roaming up right here. He might actually be able to get this. He might, if he flashes... No, he's going to get... No, he's not going to get it. But, you know, that right there, even though, you know, I think one thing... I think Countdale was just trying to get something, trying to, you know, bait someone under the tower to get it. But that win is going to go into the Cinder right there. I mean, she went back. She had a lot of gold. She's going to be able to get her Chalice. She's going to get an Amp Tome right there. And that's going to be applying a lot of pressure onto Acolyte. You know, he's not going to be able to bully her out as much as possible. She's going to have the magic regen. She's got blue for at least another, you know, 45 seconds. And when you're a Syndra, when you know, don't get bullied out and you're able to get to your power spike faster, then that's going to prove very beneficial for the rest of the game. So both junglers went down in that, you know, nothing too big. There is an XP advantage right here on Black just because he does have that assist and is in the right place at the right time, but they're going to respond. JFC is actually going to 4-man go into the Dragon. Now, a very good response right there. Both Sivir and Nautilus did go back, so because they're able to do this, you know, they're able to get this Dragon almost safely. Well, unless he wants to try something here.
The Black just looking around, but they're going to turn on him right away. We have the mid laner coming down as well. Still looking for something. Gets stunned out by the Disintegrate, though. They're just going to get away with that scot-free as everybody goes back to their lanes.
Yeah, I mean, again, a very good recognition. You know, your bot lane goes back, so we need to take Dragon right now. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You know, if they're going to want to make sure that they win this game, they're going to have to get out of the early game and get into their mid-game power spikes faster. You see Kalista going for the Bork, actually. So she's, you know, she understands the amount of peel that she's going to have for herself. So she's opting to go with this Bork from the very beginning. You do see a differential in the jungle items from both junglers. You see a Ranger's Trailblazer coming out for Black right now. He wants to stay healthy in the jungle. He wants to make sure that he's healthy enough for the ganks. And then you flip the ball around, and you've got the Stalker's Blade right now on Gragas. He's going to be able to want to stick to you and try to do as much as possible. And that's a very good choice from what I think right now, as Acolyte gets caught out.
Acolyte gets caught out, throws down the gravity field. Probably not going to be enough as D-Lord Crowley shreds up some revolution for lunch as they push that massive wave into the tower. That's a lot of gold and XP disappearing before his very eyes.
Yeah, that's a wave and a half right now. And, you know, like I said, once you get this Syndra ahead, once you have her doing everything, it's going to be great. Countdale's going to come in to try to do something as he flashes for it, actually.
Yeah, throwing everything out. Drunk Santa doing what he can to try and get revenge. Doesn't look like he's going to go down. Crowley electing not to run under tower. Instead, electing to stay and fight. I think that was a little brave.
I mean, she got one kill the last time, so I guess, you know, it was a heat check, as they say in basketball. You know, wanted to see what she could do, but that's going to be a kill for Countdown right now. He's going to hit his level 6 off of this. He's sitting on about 732 gold. He can opt to go back and actually get the Sight Stone. If they're wanting to get the vision, this is what, in my opinion, he needs to do. They need to make sure that they can get these picks out when they have it. A very good Kalista Sentinel right there. Tracks down Black. They're actually going to get the timer on this blue, so if they want to contest the third blue, then they're going to have the ability to do so. Flipping back to the top lane, I mean, it's still the same lonely island that it's been all season. Your top laner Blue Cheese swapping back, you know, what they can do, but for all intents and purposes, this is going to be a win for the Rise. You know, Rise, as we all know, is fantastic with the outscale. You know, the W mechanic isn't all the way fixed yet. Acolyte has level 6. He's roaming up right now. He might want to try to get something. I'm not sure if this is the safest bet, though.
An interesting item buy on the hand of Blue Cheese as well. Let's see if that Spellband from the Hextech can save it. Right now, Victor is tanking. Blue Cheese lays down the red carpet. They trade 1 for 1. Might be able to get one more, but no, barely makes it out of the tower range in time. So he went down, but he at least took somebody with him.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a win for the Rumble. When you have someone diving like that, you know, if you can get a kill, if you can get anything at all, is going to be very beneficial. It's a very well-placed equalizer to make sure that he hit one member. Acolyte goes down, and, you know, that's going to be a win. You got to flash out of the opposing top laner. Yes, you wasted your flash, but you got to flash, and you got to kill. So, you know, for all intents and purposes, it's going to be happy. He's going to do a different build than what you see a lot of Rumbles go. He's actually going Hextech Revolver right now, so that might be a Woda, and he's also got a Negatron Cloak. So he's playing a lot more utility-based Rumble, and, you know, generally you see a lot of Rumbles go for the Magic Pen, but he's going to be trying to do something fancy. We might see a Genja build coming out of this today.
Keep an eye on that, see exactly where that goes. Bot laners just about hitting level 6, or they just got there. Both very scary engages that can happen from both Sivir and Nautilus, and Kalista and Annie. Everybody throwing themselves at each other. Looks like junglers are aware of that flag coming in. Oh, there goes the on the hunt. Danny Cute Body saying, hey, I want a piece of that body. However, they didn't expect the Gragas to come in as well. They're fighting under tower, trying to use the tower's damage to their advantage. They force a flash out of the Nautilus before the TP comes in. One gets picked up by Kalista. Your top laner comes in, featuring Jarice. Double kill for the Kalista. Blue Cheese coming in saying, uh-oh, I don't think I have the follow-up that I need. He's getting absolutely shredded. That is 3 clean kills. Somehow, Victor made it down in the middle of that. So 3 for 1, rather, in favor of JFC.
Yeah, fantastic rotation right there by Countdale. He gets MVP for that fight right there. He responded accordingly. He wasn't expecting the gank immediately, but the second that the Sivir ultimate pops, he comes in, is able to get the disruption on Black right there. What is it? Danny Cutebody is able to stay alive. A fantastic flash by him to really get out of the fight right there. And then it was just kite, kite, kite until you got enough friend stacks and got the kill. You had both the teleports gone down, but that's going to be a win right there for JFC. Doing a very good job at, you know, recognizing the map pressure of fantastic counter gank. And even though that was a very good attempt to try to get something down out of TBM, you know, it was just an even better, you know, chess move coming out of JFC. So that's going to take the tower down. First tower of the game going to JFC right there. They're sporting about a 2.3k goal lead. A really good job at wanting to get ahead early. Like I said, this is something they're going to want to do before you start seeing an overly crazy amount of magic resist coming out of TBM. You're going to make sure that you need to get ahead. You need to have the power to be able to get these good picks once the mid game starts, and that's what they're doing. They're getting ahead. They've got a 3-0-1 Kalista. She's at 12 minutes. Even though she's even in farm, she's got the 3 kills. She's got the Blade of the Rune King finished, and it looks like we might actually see our first pick of the game.
Yeah, Sivir behind, probably going to get set behind even further. Oh, barely flashes away, manages to spell shield the Rend, if I'm not mistaken. But Countdale switching targets to focus on the Nautilus. Nautilus should be going down here, but Countdale might be overextending just a little bit. Lord Crowley responds with the kill, but Danny Cutebody getting even more ahead on the Kalista. 4-0-2, 12 minutes and 30 seconds in.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was play after play. You know, you thought you were going to get the early kill on the Sivir at the beginning, but a beautiful spell shield on the Rend, you know, saves her life. But, you know, save 1, 2 more, die behind you. You know, a fantastic explosive cast to push Cinder against the wall. Nautilus was just caught out. He doesn't have the speed of the mobility boost when he's in combat. So, you know, he gets shredded immediately. Another tower goes down, and they push their advantage another 1,000 gold. Dragon is up now. You do have all members spawning. You're starting to see Blue Cheese roam down right now, but I don't think this is going to be enough time. Yeah, he's going to show up roughly the same time the jungler is, but I don't know if they want to fight this per se. You know, you've got an ultimate down on the Gragas, on the Victor, as well as Danny Cutebody on that Kalista. So I'm not sure that this is something that you want to throw with right away, but that being said, it looks like they're going to disengage.
Maybe not. Blue Cheese coming in, laying down the equalizer. That's an ADC down. That is huge. A lot of their damage is gone. Countdale doing what he can. There's not much Gragas can do 1v4. So while they gave up the dragon, looks like they're going to pick up 2 kills. In exchange, may going to turn into 3. Your top laner featuring a death in the bot lane this time. TBM making up for some lost ground.
Yeah, I mean, that was not only was the equalizer fantastic, but they recognized that the ultimates are down. You know, I said it right before the dragon went down. Yeah, you know, you've got the rotations, you're ahead right now, but you don't want to overextend your advantage. That's something that TBM can take advantage of with their team fighting ability. You know, you saw that the Rumble has the ability to kill the Kalista, you know, just with his raw damage right off the beginning, you know, and he was able to utilize that. You were able to have a good rotation. Yes, the dragon went down, but you were able to get, what, 3 kills out of that, mix that in with a tower, and it's going to be somewhat worth it.
Getting Danny out of there on that Kalista immediately at the beginning of the fight, definitely a huge boon to their success. Kalista being this far ahead, having that Bork, yeah, it has an easier build path, but that increased attack speed and the lifesteal makes that girl so much harder to kill. I mean, can you kill a dead person?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know if she's dead. I would just say she's just an undead soul.
A little unhealthy.
A little unhealthy, you know, she's green, probably about to puke, something like that. But anyway, you know, going back to what I was saying in the pregame, you know, it's going to come down to vision. It's going to come down to securing that vision. And right away, look at the jungle vision that you're seeing right here coming out of JFC. They understand that they need to be able to get picks. They understand that if they want to keep the lead, or they don't even have a lead anymore. If they want to maintain the ability to get back into the lead, they're going to have to get picked. So, you know, you see some really good deep wards right now into their jungle. They're going to have the stuff. There's still a noodle fight in the top lane, but as time goes on, that Ryze is getting stronger and stronger. He's got about 320 stacks on his tier. He's almost at a Roa. Once he gets the Roa and starts stacking up, you know, when we get to that point, we're going to see it. But Black looks like he wants blood.
Uh-oh, Yaogi forced to burn flash out of there. That tower's really low, so they just need to hit it a few times in order to dive this properly, but Black gonna get shredded by the Ren. They're switching over to the Sivir, trying to spell shield as much damage as he can, but she's burning a whole lot in order to stay alive. Uh-oh, Crowley gets a huge scatter of the weak, splitting up the entire fight. That's Kalista down. Victor responding with the kill onto Syndra, as well as Blue Cheese diving in deep, trying to get the double buffs off of this Victor. Acolyte trying to trade kill for kill, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get out. Blue Cheese picks up 1 as Countdale trying to get revenge, but it looks like this Grog is probably going to have 1 drink too many. Double kill going over to Blue Cheese, and they're going to get their first tower.
I mean, you know, like you said at the beginning of that fight, the tower was so low, all they needed to do was whack it a few times, and that's exactly what Honorat did. He hits the tower, it cancels the TP from Ryze, he's not able to join the fight, and then it's just a cleanup mode right there. You know, a double kill comes out of Blue Cheese, they're going to get 1 tower, it looks like they're going to get a second one right here, if you can be able to get it. Yaguai's trying to defend it the best he can, Danny Q-Body's coming in, they might be able to do it. Yep, there comes the disengage right there, and they're not wanting to do it, but still, that's going to be a gold advantage right now. They got about an extra 300 gold ahead right there. They got a couple extra kills. They're getting the kills. It looks like Raquel might actually get caught out.
Uh-oh. Hey, guys, I got a gold lead.
Oh,
Let's
top
give it
lane.
away. That was close.
It was. I mean, it forced a flash out. Black did a really good job. Yaogi. I know it's Yagi, Yaogai. It's really bad. But anyway, no. So he was able to force a flash out. That's going to be good. But, you know, we talk about the scaling potential of a Ryze. Everyone knows how great that is. He has the Roa now. So an extra piece to the puzzle is very, very good. It's going to make things a whole lot easier. But let's look around the map where we're at right now. You know, you look at as they say, you know, the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and the beholder right now is going to be the carries. You know, generally you want to see, you know, all your carries get as much gold as you can. It's going to make things a whole lot simple. As the smite goes away, Countdale, wow, fantastic job by him to get that. Meanwhile, you know, you've got the top lane going to go down, JFC going to get their all outer turrets of the game. It's a really good job. But back to what I was saying, you know, you want to be able to get the gold into the carry. Sivir doesn't necessarily need all the kills like what you would expect from an AD carry. You know, she's meant there for the utility. It makes things a whole lot easier. Excuse me. And, you know, you flip around to the way it's going. You want the kills on the Syndra. You want the kills onto the Rumble even, because he's going to be able to crank down the damage. But you take a look at what they're building right now, you've got a very different build coming out from both of these carries right here. You've got You have a first item built Abyssal, which you see sometimes on a Rumble when they're scared of dying, but he's got the Hextech Revolver, and then you've got a Woda from the Syndra. I'm not sure what she's thinking right here, but, you know, I'm assuming that because you've got all the burst potential with the picks and whatnot, you're going to want to try to sustain some of that up, and that's exactly what she's going for here. So a really good job by her. You've got Dragon in 40 seconds right now, and this is where we're going to see a very pivotal fight for both teams.
Woda and the Chalice going to give 30% CDR, probably up to 40 based on the Runes and Masteries that Crowley's likely running. So she's just going to turn into a stun machine. Utility Syndra is real, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of big ultimates are up. Rumble ultimate coming up in just a second. We might have a Rumble in the jungle. Dragon coming up in 20 seconds. Looks like they're like, you know what, guys? I don't think we're going to want to do that. We're just going to switch focus to this mid-tier 2. And they're forcing a rotation from TBM. Oh, well, let's get ready to rumble. Black coming in, cleaving his way to the backline. Oh, he got a separation in the top side. That's Hecarim going down. One Iron Knot trying to get away. He's forced out of the fight, but a beautiful exploding cast. Count Dale trying to take as much tower damage as he can, but stayed a little too long. That is the entirety of JFC going down. So they didn't even have to use the Dragon Pit to their advantage. They just shredded them under their own tower.
Yeah, that was a fantastic equalizer to really split apart anything and everything that they're trying to do. Black goes down immediately, but it doesn't matter because One or Not and Crowley go right into the fight. They get all the damage off that they need, and then Blue Cheese just cleans everything up. He's 5-2 and 4 right now. He's doing a fantastic job, and they did a fantastic concave. You know, you look at the map right now, there's a lot of blue side vision, but the one thing they don't have is they don't have the bush right behind the wolves. They need that bush. They need to know when they're coming. They need to know when they're getting caved up back upon, and that's not what they had, and that was what lost them the fight. They understood, okay, we've got 2 dragons right now. We can afford to give up one. We're going to push. Team Blue Milk reads this. They understand it's going to happen. So what do? They cave upon him. You get a great set of ultimates. Not only are they going to be able to get a tower right there, but they're going to get a lot of map pressure. But that being said, they didn't go back and get the primary objective, which they were originally going to fight for, and that's going to be a 3rd dragon for JFC.
That mid-tier 2 on JFC side going down right before the fight. I believe the minions took that, opening the door for the inhib tower. Made that team fight a lot more expensive on JFC side. Yeah, they did get the 3rd dragon, but losing all of that map pressure mid, it's got to be scary. Especially up against this team that's showing that with their gold lead, they can do very, very scary things. I'm surprised we're not seeing the Aegis come out yet.
No, I mean, we're seeing, our own personal parts of sustain from all members. You've got a pretty bulky Nautilus and Hecarim right there. You've got Spell Vamp coming out of both your top and your mid laner. I'm not too sure, what that's going to do in the long game, but if they're wanting to sustain, if you don't get magic resist, then just make sure you can't die, and that's what the Spell Vamp is going to give them. So, a really good job to be able to get that right there. Looking around, you're absolutely right. Now the gates are open, and this is exactly what TBM wants. They want to be able to force the issue and force these team fights. We saw from that last fight right there, they have immense amounts of team fighting potential with the ultimates and with the utility that Sivir brings to the table. If they can keep this up, if they can make sure that they're forcing the issue the way that they want, then they're going to win this game. If there's anything that JFC wants to do, it's not team fight. They don't want to succumb to the team fighting prowess that TBM brings to the table. They want to try to get these picks. They want to try to do it. But look at the division denial right now coming out of TBM.
JFC not wanting to team fight, but TBM saying, hey, that was pretty fun. Let's fight again. Let's fight again. Pings coming out left and right. They were spotted out by enough wards to know exactly what was awaiting them in that death push. So they're just going to pick up blue, look for objectives elsewhere. Waves, we got a bot wave pushing in favor of JFC, but otherwise, map presence in favor of TBM as they're looking to make moves mid.
Yeah, you see your top laner going back. He's going to get something. The teleport for Blue Cheese is up. Countdale lurking around the edge like he wants to do something. There isn't a vision, but he wants blood.
Oh, here comes the talisman being popped. They're looking for blood. Countdale going in deep. Callista absolutely shreds one to begin with. We have a TP coming in. Red carpet laid out. Countdale getting roasted. Yaogi barely makes it out alive before Countdale probably going to give up his life. That Rise is still alive, but one Iron Knot finally finishes him off. Danny Cube Body manages to respond with the kill onto the Nautilus. Oh, boomerang toss, too strong coming out of the Sivir. 2 down for Red Team, 3 down for JFC. Not a whole lot of wave clear on behalf of JFC though, as they're looking to push in for even more. Uh-oh, Black.
Yeah. he's gonna survive with he's gonna survive with a shiver of health right there. A shiver of health. But, you know, that fight right there, you know, this is what JFC's not wanting to do. You know, like we said, you know, that's all that TBM wants to do. They want a team fight. They want to have pressure right there. They want to be able to do all these things. They don't need this on the side of JFC right now. They don't need to force the issue. It was a very good attempt by Countdale to get the ultimate off, get spell shielded by the Sivir immediately. There's nothing that she's able to do, or that he's able to do about it. She's able to float around the map. She's sitting at 5, 1, and 9 right now. So if you wanted the kill on the 80 carry, now's the time to do it, and now's the time that it happened. It was a fantastic job right there. Danny Cutebody trying to do what he could in the back, but he just doesn't have the damage. He's not cranking out enough right here. And even though you've got, you know, Yagi doing everything he can to try to peel, he's almost got the Mikhail's finished. He's got the speed boost right there with the the Talisman of Ascension. He's trying to do everything he can, but it's just not going to be enough because of all the team fight and all the AoE damage that you have coming out of TBM. So they're trying to do the best they can, but it's just not working. They need to recoup. They need to slow this game down a little bit. They need to let Rise get a couple more items. He still doesn't have his tier stacked. It's at 658, almost 25 minutes in the game. He doesn't have the Archangel staff yet ready to transform that to the Seraphs. They need to slow this game down, and they need to get the vision and get picks. But with that being said, you're already seeing some very aggressive deep wards in the blue side jungle in favor of TBM right now. They're probably going to be wanting to try to take this Baron soon.
Yeah, they're prepping for this really hard, maybe trying to bait them out for a team fight. If you're not going to take Baron, might as well bait it. Still a good amount of ward coverage on behalf of JFC, though. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 vision totems being laid out in favor of them, so they're going to have at least some sort of warning if TBM decides to roll up. But Black deciding to split push, trying to get these waves out of here, force a rotation. Looks like everybody, however, going to rotate down, looking for that free gold in the form of the bot tower. Well, the top laner is just doing top lane. Uh-oh! Tea party has been canceled, ladies and gentlemen. Tibbers apologizes.
Yeah, that was you know, just a face check that doesn't need to happen when you're as far behind as they are right now. You know, sitting at 4.5k gold down. You know that they're rotating down. You had a ward above the red buff. You know they're coming. So you just need to back up. Yeah, if you can't get a ward in the bush, drop something close enough that you can at least see some kind of bush-to-bush movement right there. And that's going to create another tower down, another set of pressure right now. Black's ramping up the horsey speed, trying to see if he wants to do something right now. They've got the super minions in there. Danny Cutebody's kind of focused with that. He's trying to kite the super back over, but oh my god.
Oops. This support's turn to get a kill. Yagi saying, I know I messed up last time, but let me make up for it. Let me kill the other support.
Yeah, a really good explosive cast by Counter to do something, but he's trying to chase right now. I'm not sure that they want to do this.
Oh, Crowley, however, trying to set up a trap. He's a little too tanky to take down all at once. Yaugi coming in. That was a great rotation coming down from the backside to lock down the carry. Counter, however, gets shredded by the Sivir on one shot. Iron trying to do what he can, but Kalista just way too strong, jumping in and out, even turning to do the golem in the middle of that. Crowley, however, not done yet. Picks up one in the form of Victor, but Yaugi has the stun up. Oh, that's a double kill for the Syndra. Is he able to finish off the Annie? Looks like Annie, however, has quite a bit of damage. That exhaust, showing exactly why it's strong later on in the game. Doesn't look like they're going to go back into it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good job by Lord Crowley to stay around and try to get something, but it just wasn't enough right there. Yagi trying to stay. He has the stun up right now. He's going to do something. Oh, wow, a very good E right there. Not going to be able to get it, but are you going to get a blind equalizer? Oh, is it going to get enough? No, you don't have any burn right there, but that's still going to be a dragon right now in favor of TBM. A really good job by them. Yagi places the ward to try to get something, at least try to get a timer, but it's not going to be enough right now. They're going to even the dragons out, and it's going to make things a little bit better.
That was a huge flash being burned by Crowley there. I mean, Yaugi's got to feel like that's definitely worth on somebody as immobile as a Syndra. Once you miss that scatter of the week, you pretty much have nothing to peel for yourself. So getting that 5-minute cooldown, oh man.
Yeah, that's going to make it a lot better. You know, you've got about a 4.2k gold lead right now. Yes, you've got your first dragon, so that's going to get you a little bit of offensive boost right now. You've got a lot of power spikes coming out right here. If you look across the board right now, you're going to see Sivir going to go back. She's going to have enough to get that last whisper. That's going to be cranking any amounts of armor that they have right here. Any amounts of armor that they're going to have on the side of JFC. It's not going to be much, but you know, it's going to be true damage almost at this point right here.
Double lifesteal just being finished for Kalista as well.
Yeah, the double life, so that's going to make things a whole lot easier in the team fights. You know, one of the problems that she's had, she got ahead early, but she's at 5 deaths right now. As an AD carry, you know, if you're over the 2-3 death mark, then, you know, you're doing something wrong positionally. And so she needs to try to stay in this back lane. She needs to try to make sure to retain a lot of position. But just as I say that, she's going to get caught out.
Horsey goes really fast, but the beautiful stun and the Fate's Call coming out to ensure nobody dies in that exchange. But Inhibitor is back up. They're looking to shred through it once again. Top laner forced to come back, but it looks like Blue trying to split push top, get something out of it while the rest of them are applying pressure. Oh, blah, 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 applying pressure mid.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even though they were able to almost get a pick right now, almost getting a kill on Yagi, it's gonna be, you know, proved useless, because when you have the Sivir ult down, when you have the Hecarim ult down, then that's gonna eliminate a lot of the pressure, because, you know, right now, Black's entire job is to just zone the rest of the team out, and without that ultimate, without the ability to dive into the backline, then it's going to make things a lot harder for him to do that. Mix that in without a Sivir mobility ult, and it's going to make it that much harder. So, you know, a really good job by them to disengage. Blue's doing a really good job at trying to get something. He's got the Leandry's finish, so he's going to have a lot more burn, a lot more damage right now on the Equalizer. So I look to see exactly how he's going to position this ultimate in the game, in these next team fights. It's going to be pivotal to what he's trying to do, and if they're able to zone out, if he's able to get this, it's going to be an easy cleanup fight for one.
Void Staff being finished out by Crowley. Gonna help get through the MR on Gragas. Not a whole lot to be found. Actually, the only MR to be found is in the form of the Merc Treads on the Gragas. So even shredding through that base MR gonna make that Syndra, especially because he's not going the traditional I'm gonna throw all my AP in your face build with the Woda, with the Athene's Unholy Grail. Definitely working out though.
Yeah, she's going to have a lot of control mage. And, you know, this is what I was talking about before. If she's able to build more control mage and really just try to zone out everybody around their AD carry, and Blue is able to get that Equalizer off in the correct manner, then it's going to make their team fights a lot easier. That being said, though, they're addressing this Inhibitor right now. This might be the last fight as the depth charge goes down. Yeah,
frontline Kalista. I don't think they're going to have follow-up in time. Blue trying to look for a target, but Danny just absolutely shreds Raquel. Oh, they get split up. That's going to be huge for them. Equalizer forced to be burnt. It's defensively, Black trying to go in, but Yagi finishes him up. Acolyte getting the heal from the ADC, surviving for just a little bit, but they're absolutely getting torn up. That's going to be a clean ace. I'm sorry, 1 for 5 in favor of JFC. They might be able to get Baron out of this with respawn time numbers at 30 seconds.
That was a miscommunication on part of Raquel right there. You know, he is a sub for this game, so he's not going to have, you know, as much synergy as you might expect from the normal roster, and it shows right here. You know, he throws down the ultimate, he tries to get everything he can with a depth charge, but it's not going to be enough. He didn't have any follow-up, gets trushed down immediately. Blue Cheese throws in the Equalizer, but it's too late before everything's done. The fight is over by the time it happens. You see the double lifesteal, you see the ability to just crank down Ren stacks coming from Danny Q-Body. He gets the kills, he does everything he needs. That's going to be a Baron right there as the Ren gets popped a little bit too early, but that's going to even the gold out. 23 to 25, but it's 53.5k gold across the board.
Very desperate. Oh, they even saved the Inhibitor on top of that. I didn't even know. I thought the Inhibitor went down in the midst of that, but they managed to keep that up.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, that was a fantastic reaction from every member of JFC right there. You know, they understood that if they try to fight team fights like skirmishes, then they're going to make things a lot easier. If you saw that the way they did it, it wasn't your traditional team fight. You know, you had an engage by Recall. You had, you know, a ball stun from Lord Crowley. You had a very late ultimate from Black as he was almost dead. And when you have split ultimates and you have a split team fighting like that, then when you have a team who can just, you know, single target knock everybody down at once as quickly as they can, then it's going to make things easier as Blue goes down immediately.
That is going to be big. That Equalizer off the table for 40 seconds. Crowley, oh my goodness! That is 2 major sources of damage down. That explosive cast absolutely on point. Count Dale gonna be out some mystery skins after this game based on how well he's been hitting those barrels. 30 seconds on each of them. They are pushing really, really hard. This might cost them a whole lot. At least gonna cost them the next dragon. That's gonna be 4 for them.
Yeah, Dragon number 4, you know, you've got now the scare of Dragon number 5 on the table as this 4th Dragon comes up in about 13 seconds. They're going to face tank this turret right now, and you've got enough damage right here. You've got crazy amounts of attack speed coming out of Callista. A really good job by them, and this is exactly what they're doing. This comp was meant to single target, burst people down, and move on to the next. You know, they're singing Jay-Z's on to the next one as this fight is going on. They get one, they get another, and they just push forward. That's exactly what they're doing. They're playing it to a T. It was a little bit rocky at first. You know, they understood a lot of the team fighting potential that you see coming out of TBM, but they got the picks when they needed it, and it's really propelling them to the lead this game.
Look at the way TBM just absolutely turned tail. They saw Gragas come out. They said, nope, nope, nope. Too late, guys. Way too scary. Looks like they're trying to stop the back, though. Black might look to catch somebody out. Acolyte throwing down the death ray. He's going to go in with the onslaught of shadows. Acolyte caught in the front side. That's a big source of damage now. Danny jumping in and out of the fight, doing what he can. Two-piece for the Sivir. Count Dale trying to make it away as he saw the rest of his friend's side. Throw down the ball. Give me the ball. Takes one out, but it looks like the other two from JFC show up to throw down damage of their own. So they're going to push down the ADC. Probably put a little bit of an obstacle to this push.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get this inhibitor exactly. You know, Ryze is pretty strong right now. He's got 10 stacks on the rod. He's got the Luden's Echo, so he's going to have something.
Whoop.
Yaugi gets thrown down immediately.
Yaugi going in deep on Growly. Wow, Yaugi on a rampage. How often do you see a support Annie with the Void Staff putting that to use? Blue cheese getting put on a bagel. Cheese joke. Haha. Do you put blue cheese on a bagel?
No, you don't put blue cheese on a bagel. Blue cheese goes on, it's very good on steaks and it's very good on salads. But that being said, there's no blue cheese on a bagel. It's more like blue cheese in a grave. There's going to be a huge amount of pressure right now in this top lane. A Warnernaut's going to try to get the ricochet to get everything off. He actually just throws a boomerang blade. He's understand that he's scared right now as you have a lot of damage right here in the scary duo.
That was a really good spell shield. Yaugi say, uh-oh. Goodbye.
Yeah, no more Tibbers. It's not looking fun right now on these catch-outs, but that being said, you've got a lot more of increased map pressure right now. You've got the Baron just expired, so you're not going to have the Baron to be able to push, but you've got an inhibitor in the mid lane. You know, even though they got the really early mid lane inhibitor turret in favor of TBM, it doesn't necessarily matter because the inhibitor hasn't gone down yet. So the pressure that they were trying to get has been countered almost perfectly, and that's exactly what JFC has done to get back into this game. They've got their own inhibitor in the mid lane down now. They're going to try to apply pressure. You've got Baron in a couple minutes right now, so you still have a time on that. You've got about 4 minutes left on the Dragon, so you've got waiting. You've still got a wait game, but that being said, you need to be careful because you're starting to get a little bit more power spikes. You've got the Bloodthirster finished on the Sivir. You know, you've got the Void Staff and the Woda finished on side of the Rumble right now, so you have a lot of AP damage from that. And as the game goes on, Black is going to get stronger and stronger as a tank. He's going to be able to use that unstoppable onslaught into the background. It's going to make things a whole lot easier for him. But then you flip it around, and it's going to come down to when this Aegis gets thrown out. You know, you see Rakal starting it right now. He's got the Null Magic Mantle and the Ruby Crystal. When he gets the extra 1,500 gold to pump into that Aegis right now, then it's going to take away a lot of the damage that JFC's bringing to the table. It's going to be very difficult for them to crank a lot of stuff out. So as this game goes on, it's going to float into favor of Team Blue Milk. So if JFC wants to win this, if they want to lock down this game and get the win, they're really going to have to try to end this game within the next few minutes.
A roller coaster. I tried to say a roller coaster of emotion. Roller coaster. New words being invented on the OLS stream. Going back and forth. First we saw one team full ahead. We saw another team full ahead. Both teams playing their power spikes really well. Black might just give up his life. That's a lot of damage to be lost on a tape, but they're trying to make something out of the Talisman and Righteous Glory being popped. They get the inhibitor, but they're still on the chase. Flashes forward. Manages to get 2 stuns for 2. Crowley getting shredded. Yaugi is destroying these guys. And Acolyte coming up with the exchange damage, but Equalizer gonna slow them all down with that AoE slow. But they picked up 2 clean kills in that exchange with Baron coming up in 1 minute. This is awkward timing, folks.
Yeah, I mean, Yaugi hit a beautiful 2-man stun right there. Not only was it a 2-man stun, but it was a 2-man stun on the 2 most important people on all of TBM's team. You know, he gets it on the Sivir. She doesn't even have time to spell show because you've got the Tibbers insta-cast right there. The inhibitor spawns at perfect timing right now. All 5 members are going to have it. You've got Baron in 40 seconds right now. Even though you had a win in favor of the inhibitor for TBM, that's still going to be your inhibitor down, so you're going to have supers counteracting each other. They're not even going to care about the Baron that's up right now. They want to keep pushing. Both members are up right now. You've got the Sivir ultimate down about another 25-30 seconds right here, so you're going to have to wait for that. They're going to disengage and actually go for the Baron as a result.
There's only one ward in the pit on behalf of TBM as well, so if they're able to clear that out, looks like they're actually electing to back up out of there. I have a feeling, though, that TBM probably going to hightail it over. No, they're just going to clear waves.
Yeah, at this point, if you're JFC, the only thing you're really cared about once that inhibitor went down is making sure that you get this 5th dragon. This 5th dragon is huge. You know, there's been a lot of debate back and forth as Season 5 has gone on of, okay, which is better, Baron or Dragon? It looks like they might want to juggle both right now. You still got 45 seconds on the Baron. Lord, what is it? Both the carriers, Lord Crowley and Wonderon, aren't there right now. You've got the Sivir ultimate, but you don't want to pop it to try to catch up. The Rin stacks is not something that you can outsmite. Black is going to try to get something. He's got the unstoppable onslaught.
He goes in. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get... Nope. That is the Baron going over to the blue team. Black just going to give up his life. Actually managed to get out. But your top laner getting shredded on Rise. Sivir has a free license to do... that was a beautiful stun coming out. Rocco and Sivir getting absolutely shredded. Blue Cheese going to be next on the menu. Put him on a stake this time. No bagels here. Your top laner, however, unable to lock him down with the Rune Prison. They do get the Baron and 3 more kills on top of that. This is looking bad for TBM.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a good amount of wave clear coming out of Crowley and Blue Cheese, or sorry, not necessarily Blue Cheese, but just Lord Crowley, so they're going to be able to get another inhibitor. The Dragon is live, so they're going to have the trifecta right here, an inhibitor, Dragon number 5, and a Baron here. So if they're able to get this, if they're able to knock this tower down, Dragon for them, and it's going to be difficult as Lord Crowley gets deleted.
Your top laner coming in for the flank of Rooney. Blue Cheese, all right, let's see who gets the kill. Victor getting the kill there, so it should be... Fat Lady should be singing here, but Sivir is up in just about 5 seconds, but with these Baron minions pushing in, all the attack speed on the Sivir, in addition to the auto attacks coming up from everybody else, this is looking like GG. Oh wait, maybe not so far. They're going in for one last stop. Acolyte trying to do the best he can to shred damage from the backline. Yup, that's going to be a clean ace yet again. Good games to both teams. JFC comes out with the lead on that one, showing exactly how scary these champions can be later in the game.
I mean, you know, this is the cut and dry, don't give up if you get behind kind of story. You know, you see a lot of teams, they get behind early, they get into a slump, and then things become a lot more difficult. That's not what JFC did. They stayed in the game. They understood what their team was capable of. They understood that they can win skirmishes, that they can win these smaller, you know, not super 5v5 team fight oriented skirmish, or sorry, not team fight oriented debacles, and that's exactly what they did. They played it to the strength. Danny Cubebody carried the team on his back, 16, 6, and 11, did a fantastic job right there. It was a very good game by both teams, but you know, I have to give a lot of credit where credit is due. JFC starts off behind. They had some troubles early. You know, the team fighting potential that you see coming out of Team Blue Milk was very good, but the amount of picks, the amount of, you know, single target focus that they had, the correct single target focus that they had, really showed, you know, the potential of this team, and I really want to see how this team goes moving forward.
Look at how much damage that Annie's did as a support, almost out-damaging Hecarim on the opposing side. That is scary. But Yaugi is making some incredible plays with those Tibbers and those stuns, making sure to stun as many people as he can as soon as they are off cool off. Got to give some love to the supports.
Yeah, a really good job by Yagi to just really make sure he's on it. He had some very clutch ultimates right there. Just definitely in that last fight by the inhibitor, locking up both the carries for TBM right now. So overall, a really good game by both teams. That is going to make, you know, their record a little bit better. JFC, you know, raising up in the ranks a little bit more. So we're going to see, you know, what happens throughout the rest of the season. I'm excited to see how everything goes. I want to see if they can, you know, take this win, use the momentum to go forward. And, you know, Team Blue Milk, they're going to have to recoup. They're going to have to understand where they went wrong. Their comp was fantastic, but they need to have a little bit more adjustments on the fly. They need to understand their team fights a little bit more. And once they get that down, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
We have plenty more OLS games coming on in the future. Keep an eye out on the streams and in the community to see when your favorite players, favorite teams are playing. But that is going to wrap it up for tonight. Again, this was JFC versus TBM. Season 4, Week 6 of the OLS. I was your play-by-play guy, Piscator Josh, and we had BC Jumpman doing color. I'm going to bid you all a good night, and thanks for coming out, checking out the stream.